Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my dear students, students of At School, in a new video about Unit 8. This is your English teacher from At School. In this video, inshallah, you are going to study Unit 8 again, the power of technology. Today, inshallah, we are going to study Lesson 3 from Workbook, and let's get started. In this video, you are going to learn more about future technology. You are going to learn some new words or some new vocabulary of the lesson and answer some exercises at workbook, in your workbook. More specifically, you have to read a text and answer some questions about this text. So let's get started. Before we start, we have two questions. We have to discuss these two questions together. The first one is, from your point of view, who can tell me that modern technology has a great impact, if modern technology has a great impact on people's daily life? Again, in your point of view, do you think that technology has a great impact on people's daily life, and how? This is the first question. Okay, the second question, how do you think cars will change in the future? Do you think cars are going to be the same as we have today? Who can tell me? Okay, anyway, we have to discuss these two questions together. And of course, in the end of the unit or in the end of the lesson, you will find the answers. Now let's start, or let's study the words or the new words or the new vocabulary of the lesson together. The first word that we have today is, repeat after me, biofuel. Biofuel. What is biofuel? It's that kind of fuel which is made from living matters or living things, like plants, for example. It's taken from plants, so it's called biofuel. Some people call it vegetable fuel. Unlike fossil fuel, which is taken from the underground, like coal, like oil, like natural gas, they are called fossil fuel. But today we have something different, which is taken from plants. More specifically, it is called biofuel. Repeat after me, please. Biofuel. The second word, implement. Repeat after me. Implement. Implement. Implement, to make some action or to put something into action. If you have a plan in your mind and you have to implement it, I mean to do an action, to implement, or to do your idea, or to do your thought, or to do your plan in your head. Okay, so it is called implement. The third word, as you can see here, there is a big rock in the middle of the way or in the middle of the road. So this is an obstacle. Obstacle is a thing that blocks your way, a thing that it's in the middle of your way, that stops you from continuing, that stops you from reaching your goals. So it's an obstacle. Repeat after me, obstacle. As you can see here in the picture, this animal is not familiar to us. Nobody has ever seen such an animal, so it is outlandish. It's an adjective which means looking or sounding strange or unfamiliar. You haven't seen it before. You can say outlandish clothes. You can say outlandish kind of animals or birds. So they are outlandish. Suspension. Suspension, it's something which is attached to the wheels of the car or any vehicle, of course, to cushion it from road conditions, to make it move smoothly on the road. So as you can see here from the picture, we have suspension, which is attached in the car or to the car to make it drive or to move smoothly on the road. The next word, any car. If you can see here in the picture, any car has something called windscreen wiper. Windscreen wiper. Something which is attached to the car also to clean or to clear rain from the windscreen. So you cannot drive easily if you don't, in the rain, of course, if you don't have windscreen wiper. These are our words today that will help you understand the text that you are going to study or you are going to read. Repeat after me, please. Biofuel, implement, obstacle, outlandish, suspension, windscreen wiper. These words in Arabic, as you can see here, they will help you. Of course, you have to know the words in Arabic. They will help you answer the translation question in the end of the exam. You can write them down. You can memorize them. It's up to you. Let's have a look at these words, but in meaningful sentences. In meaningful sentences. For example, if I write about biofuel, you can say it is necessary to use biofuel to conserve petrol and reduce pollution. So it is necessary to use biofuel to conserve petrol and reduce pollution. The plan is hard to implement. Let's think of another one. The plan is hard to implement. Let's think of another one. His disability has never been an obstacle to achieve his goals or to achieve his dreams. If someone is disabled, so his disability can be an obstacle. He always likes to wear outlandish clothes when he goes out. He always likes to wear outlandish clothes when he goes out. Modern cars are fitted with computer-controlled suspension. Modern cars are fitted with computer-controlled suspension. The last sentence, the windscreen wipers are necessary in cars during rain. Windscreen wipers are necessary in cars during rain. These are our words: biofuel, implement, obstacle, outlandish, suspension, and windscreen wipers. So this is the first part of our video. Now open your workbook, page 58. Again, our topic today is about, or the title of this unit, the power of technology. In exercise 1, you have to read a text. And from this text, you have to answer 3 questions. What is the text about? It's about future car technologies. We are talking about future cars, cars in the future. What are the 3 things? You have to read them first. How cars, or how are cars changing? How are they changing and why? How is vegetable oil used? And why is biofuel preferable to petrol as a fuel source? Why do some people prefer biofuel to petrol? Take your time. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, it's time to find or to discuss these questions together. The first question, who can tell me how are cars changing? Of course, everything was written in the text. So, who can tell me How are cars changing and why? Exactly. Cars are becoming more intelligent. Intelligent means smart, being able to drive themselves in order to avoid danger and obstacles. Of course, as you know, today we have electric cars or self-driving or auto-driving cars. They can drive themselves, like Tesla cars. So this is about how our cars are changing. Question B. How is vegetable oil used? Vegetable oil that we use at home, like corn oil, like sunflower oil, like olive oil, and so on, can be or can they reused or be reused again? Exactly. We can reuse them to power cars after it has been filtered and cleaned. We take vegetable oil, we filter it, we clean it, then we reuse again or reuse it to power cars. The last question, which is biofuel. Why do some people prefer it? So it is preferable. Prefer it to petrol as fuel source. The answer is people prefer biofuel because it emits, and be careful, we are going to use this word later in this lesson. When cars emit smoke, for example, so it produce. To emit means to produce. Emits less pollution, reduces wasted oil, and is completely renewable. Now it's time to move to exercise number 2. In this exercise, we have to find words. We have meanings and words. We have the meaning which is written here. All you have to do is to find the meaning of these words from the text. Okay? Take your time, find the meanings of these words or find the words for these meanings, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, starting from paragraph number 1. If you put something into action, so it is to implement it, okay, or to implement. Now we have first meaning A, something bizarre or unfamiliar. Unfamiliar. What is the meaning of bizarre or unfamiliar? Exactly. It's called outlandish. Outlandish. Again, something which is bizarre or unfamiliar, it is called outlandish. B, superior or deluxe. Superior or deluxe or exclusive. Something which is very improved. We call it high end. Exactly, high end technology. I mean superior technology. I mean deluxe technology and so on. This is called high end. A system of springs. A system of springs or shock absorbers. Shock absorbers that cushion a car from road conditions. Think of the meaning quickly. Again, a system of springs, shock absorbers that cushion a car from road conditions. Exactly, they are called suspension. Suspension. So what is suspension? System of springs in the car that makes it move smoothly. D, a piece of equipment which detects objects and things around. For example, in the car, when you are going back or when you return by the car, so you hear a sound of exactly the sound of the sensor of the car, which detects things around or behind. In paragraph 2 also we have something which is a new or improved product or technology, which is called improved. When we have a new thing, totally new, it is called innovation. Yes, innovation. Fuel made from living matter, from plants, for example, as I said, it's called biofuel. Exactly, biofuel. To remove unwanted material or impurities, if you want to make something pure, of course, you filter. So when we make water pure, we filter it. Filter. To produce or discharge something, as I said, from cars, from factories, what do they produce? They emit. They emit. Emit means produce. The last thing, to prevent wasteful overuse or to prevent wasting something, to prevent squandering things, it's called conserve. Exactly, conserve. This is exercise number 2. Now let's go to exercise number 3. Again, it's in page 59. Again, in your workbook, page 59, exercise 3. All you have to do is to fill in the table using linking words from the article. You have to read the article again. You have to highlight 6 phrases or 6 words that they are called linking words. We have 2 groups here. The first group on the left for giving examples. If you want to give examples about something, what can you say? Or when you want to end your paragraph or to summarize it, what can you say or what can you write? Take your time. I'll be back in a minute. Just highlight 6 words or 6 phrases. Okay. As I said, if you want to give examples, you can say, for example, you can say, for instance, you can say, namely. Repeat after me. For example, for instance, and namely. If you want to summarize, you can say, to summarize. You can write in short, you can write in conclusion. To summarize, in short, in conclusion. These are linking words that we have to use when we write an essay or we write a paragraph. So this is exercise number 3. The last question here, when I ask you about technology, how technology will affect the way we travel in 10 years, 50 years, and 100 years. The way we travel, be careful, not the way we live. The way we travel. How can we travel in 10 years or after 10 years, after 50 years and 100 years? Imagine, just imagine, you have to think and you have to imagine about the way or the ways of traveling in the near future and the far future. Exactly. Of course, in 50 years or in 10 years, some people think of having flying cars. We will have flying cars. Not sure, of course, but it's prediction maybe. So we will have flying cars. In 50 years, we will have rocket cars, very fast cars, and in 100 years, we will have time machines. All these are predictions for the future. We are not sure about it, but it's likely to happen. Okay, 10 years, 50 years, and 100 years. Thank you very much for your time. This is the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Inshallah, see you in other videos. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.